What's up, WC Tri-Cities Cougs? It's Chris Meiers, the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs here. Proud to partner our Student Entertainment Board on some grilling and chillin'. Let's see what they got for us today. Well, first of all, we got a grill. It's important. A bag with about 25 matchlight briquettes. This is good for kindling and getting everything started. Ooh, some tongs. This is very useful. An apron. Well, let's get this on. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Some steak seasoning. All right, that'll be good. Some famous baked beans. Secret family recipe, I believe. Fire. It's important. Oh man, some cornbread, some Jiffy cornbread mix, the old classic, the OG. Missy Meiers' favorite A1 steak sauce. We'll get to that later. My favorite, Lay's barbecue chips. Hopefully I won't eat these before I get done cooking. And then good old-fashioned real cane sugar Coca-Cola. Can't get any better than this. Let's get to cooking, Cougs. Let's get our fire started. Get our fire started here. So for a grill, one of the things that's important to make sure you don't do is put too many coals into there. Because if you put too much thing, you can suffocate the fire and won't get hot enough. For a grill about this size, let's go about 25 coals. Make a nice little pile. That plastic or the paper bag that they provide with you, make some good starting fuel. So we're going to start the bag underneath, get this fire going, and then the key is not to touch the coals. Kind of let them burn in this pile here until they get nice and smoky, and then we'll spread them out. So let's kind of get the fire going here. You can see when we made the little pyramid pile of coals that help the fire get a little more firm, and so you can see now the reason why that whole pile of coals really works is you can see, because now you can see all the coals are kind of burning evenly. How you can tell that is by how they're all starting to gray up a little bit. This is a good fire, so this will last us about a good hour or so. So for cooking and other fun stuff here. A couple things about safety when it comes to grilling. There's only one unitasker in the house, and it's very important when you have a grill, and that is, got it right here, a fire extinguisher. Safety first. Safety first. All right, Cougs, so let's just close the lid, make sure it's in, and let's come back to this about 5-10 minutes and see where we're at. All right? All right, now let's get to our meats. Our first meat that we have here is delicious chicken thigh right here. Why I picked chicken thighs is because they are delicious on the grill. All this, don't worry about this fat and skin, that makes it delicious. Also, chicken breasts are great to grill too, but they need marinated or easy to dry. So let's just go out on a limb and do some chicken breasts because it's the weekend. Let's have some fun, right? Okay, so basic marinade for a chicken is 1 part acid. So I got here's a fresh squeezed lemon. So I'm gonna put some lemon in here, and then I'm gonna put some nice olive oil in here. So basically, I marinate an acid and an oil. So I got olive oil and lemon. Put a little salt in here. Here's my deliciously supplied steak seasoning from Seb. So let's just put a little bit in there. You know, if you don't have that, you know, any old-fashioned Italian seasoning or anything like that's good to go. But let's also do a little bonus here. Okay, all right, so I got some fresh herbs here, which are pretty nice from the garden here. So I got a little basil, some rosemary, some Italian parsley, and so just a bunch here. You know, if you go to a farmer's market, it's a good price at the market. Go ahead and grab some of this, and I'm just gonna give this a little rough chop. Doesn't have to be fancy because this is a marinade. There we go. Let's throw it in there. Throw in a little salt. And then some fresh ground pepper. Fresh ground pepper, please. Veggies. None of that store stuff. If you want it to taste good, you always have to grind your pepper. And then my handy set tongs. Give this a little whirl, that's all you need to do. And really, when it comes to chicken, you only need to marinate this for maybe a half hour to an hour. Anything after that is kind of overkill. Because really what you're trying to do is try to get that flavor penetrated in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover this up. We're going to put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes and get it nice and juicy and tasty there. Always cover your chicken because foodborne allergies and stuff like that. So you don't want to get contamination in your fridge. And of course, it's raw chicken, right? So what do? We wash our hands. Okay, Cougs, we have our delicious tri-tip right here. It's a great economical steak. This costs $9 for these 2 pieces here. When it comes to my steak, I like them simple. We're going to just basically season it with some olive oil. So just a little olive oil, got a brush here, so we're going to just brush that on. Put some salt, some nice thick kosher salt. So get it on there nice and thick. This will help create a nice crust on it. And then just a whole bunch of pepper. Repeat on the other side. And that's all it is. You always want to cook it at room temperature. So let sit and get to room temperature before you put it on the grill. Make sure you take it out of the fridge, make it room temperature because this will help sear it and make it juicier and also cook a lot quicker too. So this is Dr. Meiers' old school tri-tip. The Montreal steak seasoning is another way of going about this. This is basically salt and pepper with some spices. So keep in mind, if you use this, don't over salt your meat because this actually has salt in it. So we're going to let this sit, get to room temperature, and when our grills are nice and hot, we'll make some delicious tri-tip. Let's not forget about our vegan and vegetarian friends, because grilled vegetables are just as delicious, and with a little simple add-ons can make the meal, and also can be served as a main dish also too. So what I got here are some sweet peppers that you could find in most grocery stores. South Central Washington's finest, some great looking asparagus here. These are portobello mushroom caps, which I marinated in olive oil, balsamic vinegar, garlic, and salt and pepper. So I just marinated that for a little bit, and that'll give it a nice earthy texture when we grill it. And I also have an onion here too. So I'm just going to make some thick slices of this onion. And we're going to grill these in thick slices. So. I'm just going to go like that. Try to keep them together as much as we possibly can. Help with the grilling. Make a nice long room here. Okay. For our asparagus, let's just cut off the tips here, the bottom tips, of course. And then, there we go. All we really need to do with our vegetables is some simple seasoning. So I got my olive oil here, so I'm just going to pour that on there. Now let's go ahead and use the steak seasoning. Actually, this will be tasty. So let's kind of plop that on there. And then grab some tongs. Just kind of flip it over. Just have the asparagus go around for a little slippy slide here. And we're just going to let this sit until we're ready to grill. And so these will make awesome side dishes, but also if you're vegetarian or vegan or just plant-based diet or have friends, this is a great way to show some love for them and make sure they're not eating more than this potato salad and potato chips. All right, Cougs, in your box you got a very famous brand of cornbread muffin mix. You can make it by the directions, put it in the oven, it's delicious, but I want to show you a great barbecue hack, which is pretty simple to do. It's kind of a dump and pour exercise, so here we go. So what we're going to do is make some cheesy cornbread. You can bake this in the oven, you can put it on the grill, you got a smoker, that'd even be great too, but this is a great way to put a little flair into a barbecue. And it starts here with basic cornbread mix. So what I'm going to start here first is in this bowl here, I have a can of cream corn and a can of regular corn and a half stick of butter. Not margarine, just a half stick of butter, half cup of butter. Go with the flavor. Here I also have some diced onions and sweet peppers. I'm going to use this in a couple of recipes, so that's the reason why I chopped up a bunch ahead of time, just to make it easier. So that looks like enough. So a good spoonful of that. Let's see, some minced garlic, so a good chunk of minced garlic will be good in there. Half cup of sour cream. This is a half cup. Okay, this is a half cup right here. This is a sour cream thing, which is about a full cup. So you either measure it out, or you could be like me. So half a cup is about half of this container here. So let's just do about a half there. Okay, good enough. See, 2 eggs. Egg number 1. Egg number 2. There we go. All right, what else? How about some garlic powder? That's always good. A little garlic flavor in there. We already have some in there, but give a little extra garlic flavor would be great. Oh, can't forget the cornbread. So let's dump in our cornbread mix. Be a little clumpy, that's all right. Want some salt. So just a good sprinkle of salt. Got some nice shredded sharp cheddar cheese here. Also, fresh jalapeno. So chop fresh jalapeno right here. And go ahead and put that in there. You know, the fresher the jalapeno, it's hotter. So if you do touch this, make sure you do wash your hands. Trust me from experience, that matters. Since it's a special occasion, it's for my friends in the Cougar Nation, we're also going to use some famous Cougar Gold Natural Cheddar, 2018. It's been sitting in my fridge since 2018. So I got a nice chunk of Cougar Gold here. We're gonna melt this up, and if you know what we all know about this delicious cheese, it crumbles really easy. So all I really need to do is just take my knife. It's kind of some chunks here going. Okay. Get that in there. Get all this crumbly. Remember, this is going to melt, so we don't have to really worry about it. Now I'm going to mix it up. So all we want to do is just kind of get this into a clumpy texture. Fresh ground pepper. Ten-ish turns or so, I guess. Okay, so what do we bake this in? You can bake it in a baking dish if you have that. But what I always go to, if you have it, is a cast iron. Cast iron is a go-to. If you don't have one, ask your mom, ask your grandmother, ask another family member. I bet you they have one they could give to you. But this is tried and true for cooking. You can put it in the oven, you can put it on the grill. So we're gonna bake our cheesy corn casserole in the oven in our cast iron. But one thing I want to do is I want to give this a good spray of nonstick. Reason being because this can get kind of messy to clean up. And I don't do the dishes here. My partner Misty, is the one that likes to, she's the one that does the cleaning around here too, so she really appreciates it when I keep the dishes somewhat clean for her. But this helps with sticking and serving. This is, I'm kind of going over, but stop. Get rid of that, okay? I don't like that part. All right, so here's our pan. We're just gonna sit here and just put in that lumpy deliciousness into our cast iron. Make it nice and even. And then we're gonna just put this in the oven, about 350 oven for about 30 to 40 minutes until it's nice and brown. We'll check on it later. Once it's kind of set in the center, it will be delicious. So here is your Cougar Gold smoky cheddar cheesy cornbread casserole. It's time to make some beans. In your pack, you'll have a nice can of beans, delicious, but I want to show you a few flavor add-ons that you can do to make these even extra more delicious. So what I'm also going to do is cook them in a cast iron, but if you have a crock or any type of baking dishes, it's fine. You can put it in the oven, 400 degrees or so, until this gets nice and bubbly, and nice bubbly and delicious. That's all we're looking for here. So here's my cast iron pan, but first let's season up our beans. So here's some of that onion and sweet chopped peppers that I had. Told you that would come in handy later. Let's throw a little more garlic, a little minced garlic in there. Some authentic Worcestershire sauce if you have it, or soy sauce works too. Basically, that's about the same thing. So put that in there. A good mustard. So this could be yellow mustard, but if you have like a good stone ground mustard or anything like that, I plop a little of that in there. I try to avoid like honey mustards or sweet mustards. And then what else? Oh yes. So this is barbecue rub here. This is a brown sugar rub. You can get this in the store. But this kind of gives it a smoky flavor, so I'm going to throw a little bit of this in there. This is my special rub, which I will give you the recipe for it, maybe in the comments, I don't know. So we'll put a little bit in there. That's my barbecue rub. You could also use the steak seasoning too. I think that'd be just as delicious. And have a little more pepper. You never go wrong with a little more pepper, right? Okay, so we're going to get this all nice and stirred up. So what we're working here is a combination of sweet and savory. Here's my cast iron pan. Just to be safe, I'm going to spray it. This helps with cleanup. Let's plop it into our cast iron here. If you have a pot or a crock, that's great too. So there you go. We're just going to throw this in the oven or on the grill for about 20-30 minutes. If you have a smoker going on there, some slow heat would be great too to give a little extra smokiness. Shoot fly. And there you go. There are your jacked up baked beans. Here's our grill, and we're going to cook in shifts. Timing is critical. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start searing our steaks. So here's our steaks at room temperature. And we're going to put these on the grill, but before we do that, I always like to put a little extra insurance on my grill. So I never hurts to put a little non-stick spray on the grill. It's going to get a little smoky for a second, that's okay. So the key to a great steak is to put it on the grill. I'll put that on the grill, and don't touch it. Don't touch it for 2 minutes. Set timer for 2 minutes. I'm on it. See you in 2 minutes, Cooks. Okay, so 2 minutes are up. So all we're going to do is we're going to make a simple quarter turn here. Quarter turn. And I'll tell you why. This is a good hack. Put that lid on, and we're going to repeat for another 2 minutes. So our steak's been on for 4 minutes. It's time to flip. So if you remember, we did that quarter turn, and that's how we get nice fancy grill marks. See, that's how we make those diagonal grill marks. Isn't that an adulting there? So all right, so we're gonna put that there. We're gonna let this cook for 4 more minutes, and then we're gonna check its temperature based on doneness. But while we got that going on, let's get our chicken going. So here's our lovely marinated chicken. If you remember, we marinated it in lemon juice, olive oil, and some fresh herbs and spices, just like the Colonel. So, and then for chicken's a lot like meat, steak here, beef. You just don't want to touch it. So we're going to first cook it skin side down. While we're going to do that, we want to get that skin nice and crispy. So the steak's cooking for 4 more minutes here. We're going to check its temperature. Chicken thighs are about 4 minutes aside, so we're just going to leave this here and let that skin get nice and crispy, and we're going to come back in 4 minutes. All right, Coug, so our steak's been on for about 8 minutes. Our chicken thighs have been skin side down, getting nice and crispy for about 4 minutes. Let's see where we're at. Woo! All right, so let's first talk temperature on steak. So a nice medium rare steak is about 135 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where I like mine. If you have a digital thermometer, this is a great way to test it out. But good rule of thumb on a 1-inch steak like this is about 8 minutes is about medium rare. Timmy, how do you like your steak? Rare, medium rare, medium?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Okay, so let's see what we got here. 140, 150, so that's medium. That's more of a Misty Meiers steak. So we're going to give her that one. Let's check out this one here. There you go, 131. That's perfect. Because what happens when we pull a steak off the grill, there's carryover. And typically, steaks will rise in temperature about 5 degrees or so once they're off the grill. So this is my steak here in Timmy's, a nice 135, medium rare. Missy's a little more medium. So we're going to give her this one here. So we're going to let this set and rest for a little bit. And let's flip our chicken. Let's see what our skin looks like. Oh, look at that. Look at that, Coug. That nice brown grill marks there. That is a good chicken thigh. Nice and seared. That skin got a little messy. That's okay. We'll put it over here. And then what we're going to do is let this cook for about 4 more minutes. Chicken is no joke. Don't mess with the chicken. Cook the chicken to 165. Anything lower is no bueno. Unsafe. So we're going to let this just kind of cook and just get its way to 165. We're going to check its temperature about 4 minutes from now. But while that's going, let's get our veggies going. So we have our portobellos. These are going to take about 4 minutes per side. Put on some of our onions. Put on some of South Central's Washington's finest asparagus. And then let's put some sweet peppers on here. Remember, we marinated these in some olive oil and salt and pepper. And we're just going to let those get nice and charred and smoky while we're finishing our chicken. All right, Coug, so our cheesy corn has been on the grill for about 20 minutes, or an oven, or a smoker, or a grill, whatever. Let's check out our cheesy corn. Look at that. Golden brown, delicious. So how we know this is done is just need to get something we can poke with it and just make sure it's not too sticky in the middle. That is D-O-N-E, done. Cheesy cornbread, Cougar Gold Edition. All right, let's check on our smoky beans, our supplied beans with a little flavor add-ons for extra flavor. Those look delicious. All right, let's check out on our veggies. They've been grilling for about 8 to 10 minutes or so with our chicken. Man, that chicken looks really delicious. So let's check its temperature real quick. Okay, so let's check our chicken temperature real quick. That is 156, so that probably needs a few more minutes. Let's keep the skin on there, because that skin is good. But I think our vegetables are good. So let's pull off our asparagus. So your asparagus is done when it's nice and brown and charred like that, a little wilty. Same thing here for our sweet peppers. Now the thing about onions is if you they're kind of tricky to keep on the grill. So what I like to do is I like to kind of throw them on top of the portobello here once they start kind of getting grilled and smoky. It kind of gives them like a little nice little base to get grilled on. See there, portobello's about 3 to 4 minutes aside, and they are good to go. And let's give our chicken, let's give it 2 more minutes. It's really important that we get our chicken to 165. All right, let's check the temperature of our chicken, Cougs. I think we're there. Been about 2 minutes. Looky there, 167. That is the chicken eating zone. So let's get our chicken off. Look at that, Cougs. This is a feast. I cook this for Director of Advising Misty Meiers every evening. I'm going to show you another. So here's the other thing, Cougs. We got a nice hot fire here. Let's not let go to waste. So if you have pita or some naan or some other bread there, let's just grill it up a little bit. Put a little oil on there. Give it about 2 to 3 minutes aside. We'll come back to that later. All right, Cougs. So our steak is nicely rested. So it'll be a good time to give it a nice little slice. Is a great way to serve this is kind of family style. So let's first start with the medium steak. And what we want to do is just kind of cut it like an angle here. So let's make some nice little slices on the diagonal. See, and that's a nice little medium right there. A little pink in the middle. That is perfect. That is good eats for folks that like their steaks medium. Not me. I like a little rarer than that, but we'll put that there. And if you remember, this is our steak that's a little more rare, medium rare. See, it's a little pink in the middle. It's a little cold in the middle, but nice and seared on the outside. See, all you need to do for a good steak is to season it with salt, cook it at room temperature, don't touch it, and about 2 minutes per side for medium rare, or excuse me, 4 minutes per side for medium rare. If you want to go to medium, I would go 4 minutes on one side, or 3 minutes on side. About medium is about 8 minutes per side. Oh, let's get our bread. Here, remember, we've had this about for 2 or 3 minutes on the side. Let's check it out here. It's getting nice and toasty. Got some good looking grill marks there. All right, so let's give that another minute or so. Here's a minute. Okay, so I got my nice grilled pita bread I have right here. Here's a little trick I like to like. This is the cutting board. Like I like to do. Here's the cutting board with like the juicy goodness of that awesome tri-tip. So let's just put that there. That kind of makes the bread a little better. So let's make a little pizza cuts here, or knife. Just kind of flare it up around the sides here. Looky there, Cougs. A feast for us king. Steak, tri-tip, chicken, chicken thighs, some grilled portobello mushrooms, some asparagus, sweet peppers. And that's all you gotta do for a great barbecue. Key is cook in stages, prep ahead of time, get good temperature, and always cook the temperature. All right, Cougs. What a day. Woo! Don't forget to tag Seb WCTC on Insta, Facebook for some cool prizes and swag to show your creations. And let's have a great day. Be safe, mask up, and stay strong. Go Cougs.